Welcome back, dear listeners, to another episode of Tales from the Shadows. I'm your host, and today I bring you a tale that will send shivers down your spine. So grab your headphones, turn down the lights, and let's descend into the darkness together. Our story begins with an ordinary individual, much like you or me, who found themselves trapped in the most extraordinary of circumstances. This is their story, told through their eyes. You know, I always thought basements were just places for old Christmas decorations and stuff you don't use anymore. But here I am, in the Hendersons' basement, and I'm starting to think they're for trapping nosy people like me, too. It was supposed to be a simple dare. Spend the night in the haunted house, prove there's no such thing as ghosts, and walk away with bragging rights. Easy, right? Wrong. The moment that door slammed shut, I knew I was in for more than just a spooky night. The darkness here is alive, I swear. It's like it breathes, pressing in around me, whispering things I don't want to hear. It's cold, too. Not the kind of cold that a sweater can fix, but the kind that seeps into your bones and settles there. And there's something else here with me. It's not human, not anymore. It's a shadow that moves, a chill that follows me wherever I go. I hear it laughing sometimes, a sound that's too delighted to belong to anything good. I've tried everything to get out. I've shouted until my throat was raw, banged on the door until my hands bleed. But it's like the world outside has forgotten me. Or maybe it's just pretending to. So I sit here, recording this, hoping that someone will hear it, hoping that someone will come find me before it's too late. Because I'm not alone in this basement, and I don't think my uninvited guest wants me to leave. Ever. If you're listening to this, if my voice is reaching you from the depths of this forsaken place, remember me. And whatever you do, don't make the same mistake I did. Don't ignore the warnings. Stay away from the Henderson house. As the story unfolds, the tension in the basement grows thicker, almost palpable. Our narrator, once defiant, now harbors a creeping dread that perhaps they are not alone. Let's continue their harrowing tale. I've lost track of time. The darkness doesn't lift, and the silence is a constant companion, only broken by the occasional unsettling noise that seems to come from nowhere and everywhere. I'm huddled in a corner, the cold floor my only seat, and I've started talking to myself just to hear a human voice. The thing in the shadows hasn't shown itself, but I can feel it watching me, waiting. It's playing a game of its own, a predator toying with its prey. I've tried to reason with it, plead with it, but my words seem to amuse it more than anything. Then something changes, a sound different from the rest, a low hum that begins to fill the room. It's coming from the far corner, where an old boiler sits like a dormant beast. The hum grows louder, and the boiler shudders to life, its metal body groaning as if in pain. I realize this is my chance. The noise, the vibration. It's unsettling, the thing in the shadows. I can see it now, a formless mass, swirling and recoiling as the boiler's din grows unbearable. It's distracted, and I know it's now or never. With all the strength I have left, I lunge for the door, throwing my weight against it. It doesn't budge. Panic sets in, but then, from the depths of my despair, a sliver of hope. A key, forgotten on a dusty shelf, glints in the dim light. It's old, rusty, but it fits the lock. The door creaks open, and I spill out into the night, gasping for air, the house groaning behind me as if in anger. I don't stop to look back. I run until my legs give out, and I find myself on the pavement, the first light of dawn painting the sky. I'm free, but the memory of that basement, the thing that lurks within, it haunts me. I can still feel its gaze, hear the whisper of my name on the wind, and I know, deep down, that it's still there, waiting for the next daredevil to ignore the warnings and venture into the darkness of the Henderson house. And so, dear listeners, our tale comes to an end. But let this be a reminder to us all. Some doors are closed for a reason, and some dares are better left unaccepted. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the shadows. Until next time, keep the lights on and the doors locked. Good night. Gather around, for I have a tale that will chill your bones and make you question the shadows. This is the story of a child, not unlike many, who found themselves in a place where the darkness whispers and the stillness is a lie. Let's hear their story, in their own words. I'm not supposed to be here, in the basement. Mom always says it's off limits, but I've never been one to follow rules. It's an adventure, right? That's what I thought when I snuck down here, flashlight in hand, looking for secrets or maybe a hidden treasure. It's funny how a place can change when the sun goes down. During the day, the basement is just a basement, but at night, it's a different world. The shadows seem to move, and there's a feeling like you're not alone. I laughed it off at first because monsters aren't real. That's what Dad says, but then I heard it. A sound, soft and curious, like someone whispering my name. I spun around, shining my light into the corners, but there was nothing, just boxes and old furniture. I told myself it was just the house settling, but the hairs on the back of my neck didn't believe me. I should have gone back upstairs then, but I didn't. I was brave, a big kid, and I wasn't going to run away from some silly noises. So I kept exploring, opening boxes and looking behind things. That's when I found the doll. It was old, with porcelain skin and glassy eyes that seemed to follow me. I don't like dolls, but this one was different. It felt like it was waiting for me, sitting there in a dusty old chair like it was a throne. I reached out to touch it, and that's when everything changed. The air got colder, and the whispering turned into giggles. Not happy giggles, but the kind that makes you want to hide. I dropped the doll and backed away, but the giggles followed me, bouncing off the walls and filling the room. I ran for the stairs, but they seemed farther away than before. The giggles grew louder, and I could feel something behind me, something cold and not alive. I didn't look back. I couldn't. I just ran and ran until I burst into the kitchen, where the light was safe and warm. Mom found me there, shaking and crying. She didn't believe my story, of course. Adults never do. But I know what I heard, and I know I'll never go into that basement again, because some treasures are meant to stay hidden, and some adventures are better left to stories. As our young narrator catches their breath, the safety of the kitchen light feels like a sanctuary. But the story doesn't end here. The whispers from the basement have followed them, a silent reminder that some encounters are never truly over. Let's continue this eerie tale. Even now, safe in my bed, I can't shake the feeling that something followed me from the basement. It's like a cold spot in the room, a place where the warmth doesn't reach. Mom says it's just my imagination, but I know better. I've heard the whispers at night, soft and sly, slipping through the cracks under my door. I try to ignore them, to focus on the normal sounds of the house, the creak of the floorboards, the hum of the refrigerator, the distant bark of a neighbor's dog. But the whispers are persistent. They're curious, these voices, always asking questions. Why did you come down? What did you see? Do you want to play? It's that last question that gets to me. Play. That's what I wanted when I went into the basement, wasn't it? A game, an adventure. But this isn't the kind of play I had in mind. This is a game with rules I don't understand, with stakes that seem too high for a child like me. One night, I gather my courage and answer back. No, I whisper into the darkness. I don't want to play. The house goes silent, so silent I can hear my own heartbeat. Then, laughter, a sound that's neither kind nor cruel, just amused. We'll see, it says, and the chill in those words is worse than any cold from the basement. Days pass and nothing changes. The whispers are my constant companions, and I start to wonder if they'll ever leave. But then, one evening, as I'm lying in bed trying to sleep, I hear something new, a melody, soft and sweet, like a lullaby. It's coming from the basement. I know I shouldn't, but I'm drawn to it. I creep down the stairs, step by cautious step, until I'm standing at the top of the basement door. The music is clearer now, beautiful but sad. It's calling to me, and against all reason, I find myself reaching for the doorknob. The door swings open without a sound, and the music envelops me, pulling me down the stairs. The basement is different now. It's warm, and the shadows dance to the rhythm of the song. In the center of the room, the doll sits in its chair, no longer a silent watcher, but the source of the melody. I approach, my fear replaced by a strange sense of peace. The doll's eyes meet mine, and I understand. It's lonely, just like me. It wanted to play, to be heard, to be seen. And as I take its hand, the whispers fade away, replaced by the music that fills the room, fills my heart. We dance, the doll and I, in the gentle glow of the basement light. And I realize that sometimes the things we fear, the things we don't understand, they're just looking for a friend. And in that moment, I'm no longer afraid. And so our story concludes, not with screams, but with a song. A reminder that even in the darkest of places, there can be light, there can be music, and there can be friendship. Thank you for listening, brave souls.